Listen to me. I know you want to be surrounded by people. I know you want everybody to clap for you, to cheer you on. But hear me loud and clear. Being alone is a power. Some of y'all scared to be by yourself because when it's just you and your thoughts, you got to face the truth. You got to face your fears. But that's where the real you shows up. You don't grow in a crowd. You grow when it's just you and the grind. You grow when it's just you and the weight. You grow when it's just you in that empty room and you still find a way to believe. The world teaches you that you need validation. No, you don't need everybody's likes, hearts, and claps. You need you. When you master being alone, you master your mind. And when you master your mind, you master your life. The greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest leaders, they went through seasons where it was just them. No cheerleaders, no applause, just discipline, focus, vision. Being alone isn't loneliness. It's preparation, it's training, it's transformation. So the next time you feel alone, don't panic. Don't get weak. Smile, because you are standing in your power zone. You are becoming unstoppable. Being alone is not your curse. It's your greatest weapon. Let's get it. Listen to me very carefully. Most people, when they feel alone, they panic. They start scrolling. They start calling people. They start looking for something, anything to distract themselves. But I'm telling you today, the greatest breakthrough in your life, the greatest transformation you will ever experience is going to happen when you finally sit in that silence and face yourself. That's where self-mastery begins. That's where the beast is born. It's easy to be tough when the music is loud and the crowd is cheering and everything feels good. Anybody can smile when the lights are flashing. But what about when it's just you? What about when nobody is checking on you? When nobody is congratulating you? When it's just you in the mirror? That's when you find out who you really are. Silence is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront everything you've been running from. It forces you to listen to your own doubts, your own fears, your own excuses. But that's exactly why it's powerful. You see, when you're alone and there's no one else around, you can't hide. You can't fake it. You can't blame your situation on anybody else. You're exposed. And exposure is a gift because once you see the truth, you can change it. You can fix it. You can fix it. You can build something real. You can't build a strong foundation on lies. You can't become your best self while lying to yourself. So the silence strips away the lies. It strips away the distraction. And for the first time, you can hear what your soul has been trying to tell you all along. People think being alone means something is wrong with them. No, being alone means you're in the process of mastering yourself. It means you're serious about becoming who you were meant to be. You can't become a champion with a crowd holding your hand. You can't become legendary with noise all around you every second. Champions are built in the dark. Legends are forged in the silence. You gotta be willing to be uncomfortable for a season so you can be unstoppable for a lifetime. When you're alone, it's you versus you. No fake smiles, no fake confidence, just the raw, real you. And once you start winning those battles in the silence, once you start conquering those demons that whisper in your ear when nobody's watching, then there's nothing anybody else can do to break you. You gotta make the decision to lean into the silence. Embrace it, own it, make it your training ground. When everybody else is posting, you're grinding. When everybody else is partying, you're practicing. When everybody else is sleeping, you're sharpening your sword. And it's not gonna feel good all the time. You're gonna get bored. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna question why you're doing it. But if you push through, if you stay disciplined, if you learn to master your mind in the moments when you feel most alone, you'll come out a different person, a stronger person. A person that can't be shaken by opinions, can't be broken by failure, can't be stopped by fear. When you're alone, you create your own momentum, you create your own fire. You're not waiting for motivation to come from outside anymore. You light yourself up. And that's a whole different level of power. That's a whole different kind of energy. See, people who always need someone else to motivate them, they're always waiting for permission, waiting for a green light. But when you master yourself in the silence, you give yourself permission. You become the green light. You don't wait for an opportunity. You create one. You don't ask for a seat at the table. You build your own table. I'm telling you right now, the silence you're running from is the training you need. The isolation you hate is the classroom where champions are made. If you can survive the quiet, if you can survive being with yourself, then there's nothing in this world that can defeat you. Not the haters, not the failures, not the heartbreaks, because you've already conquered the hardest battle, the one inside your own mind. So stop fighting it. Stop running. Stop thinking you need noise to be strong. Sit in that silence. Hear your fears. Hear your dreams. Hear your goals calling your name. And then decide, once and for all, that no matter who leaves, no matter who doubts you, no matter who doesn't believe in you, you will not quit. You will not fold. You will become everything you were born to be. And it starts right here, right now, in the silence. Too many of you are stuck because you're living for other people's approval. You're waking up every day, checking your phone to see if somebody liked your post. You're grinding, not because you love it, not because you're passionate, but because you're hoping somebody else will clap for you. Let me tell you something. External validation is a trap. It's a prison. It's a set of invisible handcuffs around your mind, and you don't even see it because they made you think you needed to survive. You don't need it. You don't need anybody to co-sign your dream. You don't need anybody to cheer for you before you move. You don't need a standing ovation to get started. The moment you make your success dependent on other people's opinions, you lose your power. You hear me? The moment you wait for somebody to tell you you're good enough, you just handed them the keys to your destiny. And I'm telling you right now, take the keys back. Take your life back. Your calling is not a group project. Your purpose is not up for a vote. Your greatness is not a popularity contest. You have to decide that even if nobody sees you, nobody claps for you, nobody supports you, you're still going to become everything you were called to be. Validation from the outside is addicting. I get it. It feels good when somebody says good job. It feels good when you get recognized. But hear me. If the only reason you move is because people are watching, what happens when they stop? What happens when they turn their back? What happens when they criticize you instead of celebrate you? You fold, you quit, you doubt yourself. That's why you have to build yourself up from the inside. You have to clap for yourself when nobody else is clapping. You have to motivate yourself when nobody else is motivating you. You have to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. That's what separates the successful from the average. That's what separates the legend from the fans. Everybody loves to shine. Everybody loves the finish line. But you gotta love the grind when nobody's watching. You gotta love the lonely nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices nobody sees. You gotta get addicted to the process, not the praise. You gotta love the hustle more than the highlight reel. If you're in it just for the applause, you're setting yourself up for a heartbreak. Because the same people clapping for you today will be criticizing you tomorrow. The same people hyping you up today will be gone the moment you fall. You can't build your foundation on something that changes like the wind. You need something stronger. You need something eternal. You need something eternal. And that something has to come from inside of you. You have to validate yourself. Every single day you wake up, you look in the mirror and you say, I'm proud of you. Even when you're not there yet. Even when the bank account doesn't show it yet. Even when the results aren't visible yet. You tell yourself, I'm on my way. I'm becoming who I said I would become. And you believe it with everything inside of you. You got to speak life over yourself. Speak strength over yourself. Because if you don't, who will? If you don't, how can you expect the world to? When you're chasing other people's validation, you live small. You shrink your dreams to fit their comfort zones. You water down your greatness so they won't feel uncomfortable. You hold back your true self because you're scared they'll judge you. And let me tell you something. Judgment is coming, it's coming, it's coming either way. People are going to talk about you whether you win or you lose. They're going to criticize you whether you play it safe or take big risks. So you might as well go all out. You might as well live at full speed. You might as well pursue your destiny like your life. Your life depends on it because it does. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need confirmation to chase your dreams. The only approval you need is your own. Validate yourself. Believe in yourself. Push yourself. And when the world finally notices, because they will, you won't need their applause. It will just be extra. It'll just be noise. Because you'll already know who you are, and nobody can take that away from you. The The world will tell you to chase followers, likes, awards, trophy. But those things are temporary. You can't build your life around things that can be taken away. You build your life on character, on discipline, on grit, on vision. You build it on what's invisible to the eye but indestructible in your soul. And that starts by refusing to let the world define you. You define yourself. You name yourself. You crown yourself. Every day you remind yourself that you're not doing this for applause. You're doing it for legacy, for purpose, for impact. You're doing it because you were built different. And you don't need anybody else to tell you that. You already know. Sometimes you got to step away from the crowd to see clearly. Sometimes you got to shut out the noise to hear the whisper of your destiny. Isolation is not punishment. It's preparation. It's a gift. It's where your vision gets sharpened, where the blurry becomes crystal clear. Most people can't see their future because they're too surrounded by distractions. They're too busy trying to keep up with everybody else. Too busy comparing themselves, chasing trends, chasing approval. But when you get alone, when you pull back, when it's just you and your dreams, that's when the fog lifts. That's when you start to see exactly where you need to go and who you need to become. Isolation forces you to focus. It strips away the fake. It strips away the unnecessary. You stop worrying about what everybody else is doing, and you start concentrating on what you are supposed to be doing. You stop living their life, and you start living yours. Most of you are frustrated because you're trying to build dreams in the middle of chaos. You're trying to hear your calling while standing in a stadium full of noise. It doesn't work like that. If you really want to see your path clearly, you have to be willing to walk away sometimes. You have to be willing to turn down the volume on the world and turn up the volume on your spirit. It's not easy. Isolation feels uncomfortable at first. You're used to constant stimulation. You're used to being entertained, distracted, busy. But once you push through that initial discomfort, you tap into something deeper. You find out that clarity lives on the other side of solitude. That real dreams are born in quiet spaces. That real ideas, real strategies, real purpose, they don't come from being busy. They come from being still long enough to hear the truth inside of you. When you're isolated, you can finally ask yourself the hard question, what do I really want? What am I doing this for? Am I chasing a dream that's mine? Or am I just following the crowd? Am I living in purpose or am I performing for attention? In the silence, there's no mask to hide behind. No applause to chase, no fake motivation, just you, your truth in the grind. And the sharper your vision becomes, the more dangerous you become. Because now you're not moving blindly anymore. You're not wasting energy trying to impress people who don't matter. You're not getting pulled in every direction. You know exactly who you are. You know exactly where you're going. And every step you take is intentional. Every move you make is strategic. That's the power of isolation. Every champion you admire, every legend you respect, they all had seasons where they had to disappear. They had to go into hiding. They had to retreat, regroup, refocus. While the world was partying, they were playing. While the world was distracted, they were building. While the world was sleeping, they were sharpening their vision. And that's why they made it to the top. Not because they were lucky, not because they were favored, but because they were willing to do what others wouldn't. They were willing to be alone so they could see clearly. You can't hit a target you can't see. You can't chase a dream you don't even understand. That's why isolation is necessary. It clarifies your mission. It clarifies your passion. It clarifies your next move. But you got to be bold enough to choose it. You got to be strong enough to endure it. Most people won't. Most people are scared to be alone with their thoughts. They're scared to unplug. They're scared to sit still because they know the truth will confront them. But you're different. You're not running from clarity. You're running to it. Strength isn't something you can borrow. Strength isn't something you can fake. Strength is something you have to build from the inside out. It's earned in the lonely hours. It's forged when nobody's clapping for you, nobody's watching you, nobody's cheering you on. It's built in those moments when you could quit, when you could give in, when nobody would even blame you. But you don't. You keep standing. You keep pushing. You keep grinding. That's where real inner strength is born. Everybody wants to look strong on the outside. Everybody Everybody wants the muscles, the image, the applause. But what about your heart? What about your soul? What about your mind? What about when the lights go off and the show is over and it's just you? Raw, vulnerable, real. That's where it matters. That's where the real battles are fought and won. You can fake it on Instagram. You can fake it for the world. But when you lay your head on that pillow at night, when it's just you and your thoughts, there's no filter strong enough to hide from the truth. Inner strength is about who you are when everything is stripped away. When the money's not there, when the support system is gone. When the motivation fades, when the crowd walks away, are you still standing? Are you still moving forward? Or are you waiting for somebody to rescue you, somebody to validate you, somebody to tell you it's okay to keep going? Nobody wants to struggle. Nobody wants to. Because real warriors don't wait for permission. Real warriors don't need the world to co-sign their dreams. They dig deep and find something inside us. So I'm not stopping until I finish what I start. You don't get inner strength by asking for it. You get it by going through something. They got there because they went through hell. By enduring storms. Pain. By getting knocked down and getting back up again. Bruised, battered, tired, but still breathing, still fighting. Every hardship you survive, every mountain you climb, every demon you defeat, it's adding bricks to the foundation of who you are. It's stacking strength on strength, grit on grit, fire on fire. And eventually you wake up one day and realize nothing out there is bigger than what's in here. Nothing the world throws at you can shake what's been built inside of you. You don't build inner strength by having easy days. You build it by surviving the hard ones. The days when you're tired, when you're heartbroken, when you feel invisible. The days when you doubt yourself. The days when it feels like nobody cares. Those are the days that separate the real from the fake. Those are the days that forge champion. Anybody can grind when they feel good. Anybody can show up when it's convenient. But the ones who are dangerous, the ones you can't stop, those are the ones who show up broken. They show up discouraged. They show up doubting. But they still show up doubting, but they still show up, they still deliver, they still execute. That's inner strength. Inner strength means you carry your own fire. You don't wait for somebody else to light your torch. You don't wait for somebody else to believe in you before you believe in yourself. You don't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. You wake up every day and create it for yourself. You get up even when you don't feel like it. You push even when you're tired. You grind even when it would be easier to quit. Because you know the dream isn't going to hand itself to you. You have to take it. You have to fight for it. Pain teaches you grit. You have to outlast the pain, the doubt, the fear. Every challenge is an opportunity to get stronger. Every setback is an opportunity to get tougher. Every moment of weakness is a chance to forge resilience. You have to change the way you see struggle. You have to stop seeing it as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Every leader you respect, every hero you look isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to harden you. It's trying to get you ready for the blessings you said you wanted. You prayed for the next level, right? You asked for greatness, right? You begged for an opportunity to rise up and make a difference, right? Where it is, wrapped in hardship, tied up in struggle, packaged in pain. Because you can't have the prize without paying the price. So keep building, keep pushing, keep grinding, keep showing up. Keep strengthening that core, that character, that will. Because one day when the storm comes, and it will come, you won't be shaken. You'll stand firm. You'll smile in the face of the wind and say, I was built for this. I was made for this. I didn't come this far to break. I came this far to dominate. Mastery doesn't happen when you're loud. Mastery doesn't happen when you're busy showing off. Mastery happens in the silence, in the dark, in the quiet spaces where nobody's watching, nobody's clapping, and nobody's telling you you're doing a good job. It's easy to be loud. It's easy to be loud. It's easy to perform. It's easy to put on a show. But true greatness, true excellence is born in the silence. When you lock yourself in and do the work nobody else is willing to do. Most people can't handle silence because silence forces you to face yourself. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your insecurities, your fears. It strips away all the distraction. all the noise, all the excuses. In the silence, there's no one to blame, no one to impress, no one to fool. It's just you and the truth. That's where mastery is built. In those brutal moments of honesty where you realize you're not as good as you thought you were. But you also realize you got the power to get better if you're willing to work. Everybody wants to shine. You're not broken. Everybody wants to show off the results. You're not finished. But few people want to endure the silence it takes to create something worth showing. You can't microwave mastery. You can't rush greatness. You can't rush greatness. You can't shortcut excellence, a slow, deliberate grind. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again until the world calls you brilliant. Calls you brilliance. It was obsession. It was discipline. It was discipline. It was locking in when everybody else was playing. It was sacrificing today for what you want tomorrow. Silence is where the seeds of greatness are planted. It's where you build the habits that become second nature. It's where you practice until it's perfect. Then you practice until you can't get it wrong. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. There's no Instagram filter that can capture the blood, sweat, and tear it takes to become a master. But that's where the magic happens. Not in the applause, not on the stage, but in the silence. When you embrace the silence, you stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. You stop comparing, going hop about. Knock on my bed. You stop competing. You start focusing on your lane, your craft, your mission. You start tuning out the noise and tuning into your purpose. While the world is distracted by trends and opinions and gossip, you're quietly building an empire brick by brick. You're stacking skill on top of skill. You're sharpening your sword every single day so that when the time comes to fight, you don't just survive, you dominate. Most people want the spotlight before they're ready. They want the rewards before they've done the work, but the silence protects you. It gives you space to grow without the pressure, to fail without judgment, to learn without fear. It's in the silence that you discover who you really are and what you're really capable of. It's in the silence that you cultivate the kind of unshakable confidence that doesn't come from people telling you you're good. It comes from knowing you put in the work when nobody was watching. The silence teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you self-respect. It teaches you that you don't need external validation to be great. You validate yourself through your grind, through your preparation, through your relentless commitment to mastery. You start to fall in love with the process, not the praise. You start to crave the work more than the reward. You start to realize that the real prize isn't the trophy, it's the transformation. When you master the silence, you become dangerous because you're not driven by applause. You're not shaken by criticism. You're not chasing trends. You're not worried about who's watching. You're locked in on your purpose, your vision, your mission. You're outworking, outlasting, and outdisciplining everybody who's trying to find shortcuts. You become the storm. You become the force that can't be stopped because your power isn't built on hype. It's built on habits. So stop fearing the silence. Stop running from the stillness. Stop distracting yourself with noise because you're afraid of what you'll find when it's just you. Face yourself. Get real. Get honest. Get obsessed. Fall in love with the grind nobody sees. Fall in love with the lonely hours. Fall in love with the craft. Because when the world finally sees you, when the spotlight finally finds you, you won't have to fake it. You won't have to perform. You won't have to pretend. You won't have to pretend. You'll be ready because you mastered yourself in the silence. Purpose isn't something you stumble on by accident. Purpose isn't something that somebody hands you. Purpose is something you uncover deep inside of you. And the only way you find it is by spending time alone, getting real with yourself. You don't find your purpose by scrolling through social media. Call. You don't find your purpose by copying what everybody else is doing. You don't find it by asking 100 people for advice. You find it when you get still, when you cut out the noise, when you block out the opinion, and you listen to that small, powerful voice inside of you that's been speaking to you the whole time. Alone time isn't a punishment, it's a blessing. It's your opportunity to reconnect with the reason you were put on this earth. It's your chance to ask yourself the hard questions. What am I here for? What drives me? What breaks my heart? What lights me up? What would I keep doing even if nobody paid me? Even if nobody noticed? Most people never ask themselves these questions. They're too busy chasing likes, chasing approval, chasing money. But when you get alone, When you strip everything away, you start to see what really matters. You start to realize you're not here just to survive. You're here to make an impact. You have a gift inside you. You have a calling. You have a unique combination of talents, experiences, and passions that nobody else on this planet has. But you'll never unlock it if you're constantly distracted. You'll never unleash it if you're always looking outward instead of inward. Alone time forces you to face the truth about who you are and what you're capable of. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, it's hard, but it's necessary. Because without clarity of purpose, you're just drifting. Without a reason bigger than yourself, you're just existing. But with purpose, with real burning, unstoppable purpose, you become a force of nature. You become a world changer. Purpose gives you endurance. Purpose gives you power. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can go through any pain, any struggle, any setback, and you'll still keep going. Most people quit because they're not connected to anything deeper than comfort. They don't know why they started, so when it gets tough, they walk away. But when you've spent time alone, when you've wrestled with yourself, when you've tapped into that deep well of meaning inside of you, you don't quit. You can't quit, because quitting would mean betraying the very reason you were born. Alone time helps you separate the real from the fake. Now, it helps you see what's truly important and what's just noise. It helps you focus your energy, sharpen your mind, harden your spirit. When you know your purpose, you stop chasing validation. You stop seeking permission. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your mission. You move differently. You think differently. You grind differently. People notice something different about you. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they feel it. It's that quiet, unshakable fire that only comes from somebody who knows exactly why they're here. Some of the most powerful moments in your life will happen when you're alone. Some of the biggest breakthroughs, the deepest revelations, the clearest visions will come to you in the quiet. Don't run from it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Protect it. Make space for it. Because when you're alone, you can finally hear what God's been trying to tell you. You can finally feel that pull toward your destiny. You can finally understand that you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were never meant to follow. You were meant to lead. You were never meant to exist quietly. You were meant to leave a legacy. The world is noisy on purpose. It wants to keep you distracted. It wants you chasing things that don't matter. It wants you so busy keeping up that you never stop to ask if the race you're running is even yours to run. Alone time gives you the power to step back, to breathe, to question, to choose. It gives you the courage to say no to what's not meant for you and yes to the calling that's been burning in your chest since the day you were born. If you want to be powerful, if you want to live a life that matters, if you want to die empty, having poured out every gift inside of you, then you have to get comfortable being alone. You have to seek the silence. You have to embrace the stillness. You have to chase the clarity that only comes when you turn down the world and turn up your spirit. That's how you ignite your purpose. That's how you go from living to leading. That's how you go from dreaming to dominating. It all starts with being alone. Purpose isn't something you stumble on by accident. Purpose isn't something that somebody hands you. Purpose is something you uncover deep inside of you. And the only way you find it is by spending time alone, getting real with yourself. You don't find your purpose by scrolling through social media. Call. You don't find your purpose by copying what everybody else is doing. You don't find it by asking 100 people for advice. You find it when you get still, when you cut out the noise, when you block out the opinion, and you listen to that small, powerful voice inside of you that's been speaking to you the whole time. Alone time isn't a punishment, it's a blessing. It's your opportunity to reconnect with the reason you were put on this earth. It's your chance to ask yourself the hard questions. What am I here for? What drives me? What breaks my heart? What lights me up? What would I keep doing even if nobody paid me? Even if nobody noticed? Most people never ask themselves these questions. They're too busy chasing likes, chasing approval, chasing money. But when you get alone, when you strip everything away, you start to see what really matters. You start to realize you're not here just to survive. You're here to make an impact. You have a gift inside you. You have a calling. You have a unique combination of talents, experiences, and passions that nobody else on this planet has. But you'll never unlock it if you're constantly distracted. You'll never unleash it if you're always looking outward instead of inward. Alone time forces you to face the truth about who you are and what you're capable of. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, it's hard, but it's necessary. Because without clarity of purpose, you're just drifting. Without a reason bigger than yourself, you're just existing. But with purpose, with real burning, unstoppable purpose, you become a force of nature. You become a world changer. Purpose gives you endurance. Purpose gives you power. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can go through any pain, any struggle, any setback, and you'll still keep going. Most people quit because they're not connected to anything deeper than comfort. They don't know why they started, so when it gets tough, they walk away. But when you've spent time alone, when you've wrestled with yourself, when you've tapped into that deep well of meaning inside of you, you don't quit. You can't quit, because quitting would mean betraying the very reason you were born. Alone time helps you separate the real from the fake. Now, it helps you see what's truly important and what's just noise. It helps you focus your energy, sharpen your mind, harden your spirit. When you know your purpose, you stop chasing validation. You stop seeking permission. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your mission. You move differently. You think differently. You grind differently. People notice something different about you. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they feel it. It's that quiet, unshakable fire that only comes from somebody who knows exactly why they're here. Some of the most powerful moments in your life will happen when you're alone. Some of the biggest breakthroughs, the deepest revelations, the clearest visions will come to you in the quiet. Don't run from it. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Protect it. Make space for it. Because when you're alone, you can finally hear what God's been trying to tell you. You can finally feel that pull toward your destiny. You can finally understand that you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. You were never meant to follow. You were meant to lead. You were never meant to exist quietly. You were meant to leave a legacy. The world is noisy on purpose. It wants to keep you distracted. It wants you chasing things that don't matter. It wants you so busy keeping up that you never stop to ask if the race you're running is even yours to run. Alone time gives you the power to step back, to breathe, to question, to choose. It gives you the courage to say no to what's not meant for you and yes to the calling that's been burning in your chest since the day you were born. If you want to be powerful, if you want to live a life that matters, if you want to die empty, having poured out every gift inside of you, then you have to get comfortable being alone. You have to seek the silence. You have to embrace the stillness. You have to chase the clarity that only comes when you turn down the world and turn up your spirit. That's how you ignite your purpose. That's how you go from living to leading. That's how you go from dreaming to dominating. It all starts with being alone.